Today's video is all about answering frequently asked questions from folks who say you need a lot of money to do the things I do. I'm going to develop a whole series involving cameras and microphones and lighting, just general stuff. All of this and used at one time or another from the dollar store. Let's just go through this pile. I have no idea how much it is. We'll count it up at the end. So athletic tape. I use this for hockey sticks. I use it for all sorts of builds. It's got great friction capabilities, and I double down and get 2 of them. All of these items you're going to see cost me $1 plus a little tax. These are dog balls. They're like tennis balls, only they're cheaper, and they come in multicolors. Stay tuned for future videos where I'm going to use these for all sorts of juggling things that I'm working on. They come in pairs of 2, so about 50 cents a piece. The one thing about these is if they're fresh in the store, they do have a little bit of a tennis ball smell to them. So leave them outside for a while, put them in the garage, and then that smell goes away. Oven cleaner. Just spray it on anything that has a lot of goo on it, oil, grime, combination of dirt and everything else, and this stuff will probably cut right through it. Adhesive spray. You never know when you're going to need some of this, and its counterpart, tacky glue. Both of these are $1. Use them all the time. Very convenient size. You can put them almost anywhere, no matter how much space you have. Pop dot tape. I use it to block off areas. It comes in 3 different thicknesses. It also has a little bit of a foam capability, so you can actually make structure out of it. 1,000,001 uses for this guy. Nylon cable ties. I know some people will say the dollar store cable ties are cheap. Yeah, they're $1, and you get 60 of them. I'll probably do a future video on how strong these are. And the great thing about these cable ties is you want to get 2 colors, white and black, for all sorts of different applications. Single-use super glue. This is really important because you can get like the bigger tubes of super glue, but what I find is as soon as you open that thing up, that super glue is going to start working against you. It's going to crack in the metal, it's going to dry up, and when you really need it, you won't be able to have it. By the way, when you're traveling, these are great for repair of shoes and seams and all sorts of different things. So I'll stick a couple of these in a pill container for all my travel time to protect them, but also to have them available when you really need it, when you're far away from home. Wire brush set. There's a nylon brush, a steel brush, and a brass brush. Great for cleaning all sorts of things. 33 cents and change a piece. A sanding sponge. This is a medium and fine grit. Sanding sponges are great for all sorts of crazy, different curving surfaces. You can really kind of get in there and the sponge kind of molds to the surface. And having a fine and a medium sponge combined, start out with the medium, get a lot of that rough sanding done, then go to the fine and smooth it out so you're ready for painting or staining or whatever it is. Fresnel lens, or what they call a magnifying sheet. This stuff is fantastic. There's just a ton of different ways you can use this thing, and I might even try to see if I can magnify the sun and do some fire starting with it. So stay tuned for this guy. Balloons. You can use balloons for all sorts of different things. Wrap around the ends of tennis balls for staffs. Balloons have a lot of different uses besides just blowing them up and having them at parties. Tape measurer. Now, the great thing about this tape measure, it's small, it's portable, it's 16 feet, and it has both inches and centimeters. A lot of tape measures, at least in the United States, you can only get inches. I'm an engineer by trade, and trust me, the metric system is so much easier to use, but that's a whole nother discussion. But I like having both metric and inches, so when I show my builds, I can give you both measurements and help people out no matter where you might be. To complement the sanding sponge, you can get sanding sheets. You can get 24 of them for $1. And they range from 100, 150 grit, all the way to 500 grit, 400 grit, depending on where you go and what store you go to. I use these all the time. You can actually glue them to a piece of wood and have them flat like this and use them as a sanding platform. Great stuff, and when combined with the sanding sponge, you can sand pretty much anything you need to. Googly Eyes. There's 125 of them in this package, assorted sizes. You can use these for all sorts of builds where you have bolts, glue them on, you can spray paint them, and nobody will ever know there's a googly eye under there, unless they shake it, I guess. Also, googly eyes are fun to give your creations a sense of animation. Make them kind of like a little puppet or what have you. So googly eyes, I use these all the time. In addition to this tape measurer, I like this right square, $1. And the great thing about this is that it has English units on one side. I don't know why we call it English units, because the United States is the only one that uses English units anymore. And then metrics on the other side. Great little hole to hang it up on. And I like this so much, I got 3. And I've got another project that I'll post up there eventually. You can use these for a bunch of different ways, not just for measuring. In fact, you can actually use the steel for all sorts of builds, cut it off a little bit at a time. Another one is just a standard silver steel ruler. Again, with English units on one side and metric on the other. So there you go. 18 things that would be helpful to any maker or any homeowner who's trying to fix a problem or make something new. Thumbs up and comments always appreciated. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in building things, home repairs, designs of all kinds, making and breaking stuff, I even do costumes, cosplay, and props. Check out my channel and please subscribe, because you never know what you're gonna see.